Okay, so this is an interesting style of fishing that I do quite a bit actually. I didn't make it up. My dad did this when I was young, and I've been doing it a long time. So basically it's going out to where the fish are, as opposed to trying to cast far enough and hope the fish swims by from shore. I'm going out and finding where the fish are at, and it's like a very effective way of fishing actually. So I'm taking a stand-up paddle board, but without the paddle. The main reason being is that you have a lot of moving parts here, and I'm usually around surf. So one less thing to have to deal with floating around and grabbing it, the better, right? So I'm really trying to keep it simple here. These are the things I have. I have a net because it's actually really difficult to leader a fish and get it on a board and not have it kick right off. I got my bag to keep the fish in. I got my bait. So this is cut up squid or ika, and I keep it in this like a screw and nail container, right? So it's all pre-cut. I don't have to do it while I'm out there, and I can just open it up and get a piece really fast, because I've totally gone out with like different containers, and you open it and a wave hits you and you lose all your bait immediately and have to come back in, which is a major pain. I have pre-tied rigs ready to go in case I snag bottom and really can't get it up. So I'm using like 25-pound test leader, circle hooks. I got some extra leads and some scissors to cut the line. This is a old screwdriver that I just sharpened. So this is to brain the fish, subdue it so it's not kicking around, the thing's not suffering longer than it has to. And all of that stuff is gonna go in this separate small bag here. As far as my fishing rig, this is honestly just a cheap pole, and I've probably caught more fish on this cheap pole than any pole I've had in my life. You want it kind of short, because when you have to grab the fish at leader or try to net it, you know, if you got a long pole, it's a little too far away and you're always reaching. Your reels are gonna get pretty much trashed. Like every time you go out, they're taking a bath in salt water. So that's just something you gotta accept. I gotta clean my reels out a couple times a year and re-grease them because of that. But these Penn reels, they got a gasket in them, so it doesn't let as much water. It's supposed to be totally dry, but water gets in there. And this is the rig. So it's actually interesting. I've never used this rig before in my life, this little spreader, but I was geeking out on YouTube videos about cat fishermen, and I thought it would be a good solution. Usually I just put this lead straight on the main line and have a swivel as a blocker. Only problem is that tends to chafe the line, and it tangles, the leader tangles on the main line sometimes. So I'm trying this today. I have no idea how well it'll work, but yeah, short leader to circle hook. The circle hook's good because the fish aren't gonna swallow it. They get caught right in the lip, so I can release all the ones that I'm not gonna keep. I'm usually releasing probably 3 fish for every one that I keep. So this makes it a lot easier, and when a fish inhales a hook, when you use a different kind of hook, it becomes a nightmare on the board. Like, you have to keep that fish, it's not gonna survive, and you're getting rolled around and trying to get this hook out, or you gotta cut your line and retie. So that's the logic behind all these things. So basically when I'm dragging bait, I'm gonna cast this. First off, I'm gonna find a spot, probably like a sandy channel, because we're targeting oio, which is bonefish. They're usually in the sandy patches around rough surf. This time of year in Hawaii, wintertime, they're coming in and aggregating in pretty large schools. So you kind of just gotta find where the schools are. So I'm gonna go to a sand patch where they usually like to collect. I'm gonna cast this out with my bait, and you don't have to cast it far. Like, you can cast it as short as like 30 feet, right? And so I'm gonna get to the spot, cast it, let the lead hit the bottom, and just let the current and wind push me in the direction it wants to and sit up on my board. And I'm feeling it with this braid. You can really feel when your lead's hitting something. So if I feel like I'm hitting rock, I'm just gonna pop that lead off the bottom a little bit just so it doesn't snag as much. And I'm just gonna keep doing that until I get a strike. And then once I get pushed out of the zone by the current or wind or waves, I just bring it in, put the pole on the board and paddle back up to the zone again and just keep doing that. And this is super simple. So to take a board, and I also use this rig for trolling on my board. Like I'll use a little swimming lure like a Yozuri or something. But I have 2 clips here. This is just a cheap like $3 strap that I put around the board. As an anchor, I put 2 loops on either side so I can put a bungee or surgical tubing or whatever. And basically, I just put the reel like this, and if I'm trolling, I'll just have the drag light, so when I'm paddling, this reel's by my face, and the tip is going off the back. And then for my fish bag, I'm just gonna hook it up here. My gear bag is gonna get hooked up over here. And then I just stick this guy underneath. I'm off to the races. Like super simple. This isn't refined. I actually want to refine it a bit, but it works, and I get a ton of fish this way. Snagged, of course, right away. Jeez, this stuff. Yep, this is part of the game. Getting snagged a ton. Bites, bites, bites. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, there it is. Yee-hee-hee. It's coming at me. Coming at me. Oh yeah. That's an OYO. Oh, come on. Oh, I thought he came off for a second. It's right under me. Ooh! Yes. Oh man, I can see him on the bottom right there. Oh. Right. Yes, I love it. getting towed around out here on the stand-up board. Time to get the net. Woo! Yep, this is a keeper size. All right, success. Wow, that's a good one. It's going towards the baby luau. Yeah, buddy. There it is. No yield. Octopus bait.